What's up, guys? What's up, guys? I gotta turn this music down, and then we can get this stream started. All right, should be good. Hold up. Okay. Should be good. Should be live. It's Thursday night. We got 8 games tonight. There was actually a game already today in Germany. I don't know if you guys took any plays in that game or if you made any bets for that game, but we already had a game today in Germany. I did give out a YouTube play in that game. Cam Spencer over 10.5 rebounds and assists. That was pretty much a sweat-free cash. Hopefully you guys tailed that play. But we got 8 games tonight. It's a pretty good slate. For the next 40-45 minutes, we're gonna be live talking through this slate, answering any questions you guys have. We'll react to any starting lineups, any injury news that maybe comes out during the stream. I don't know if we're really gonna get much news today. Right now, there's not a ton that we're still waiting on. Like, I think a lot of the news that we were waiting on, we kind of already got. But we are waiting for some news from Dallas. They have a bunch of questionable guys. Daniel Gafford's questionable. P.J. Washington's questionable. Outside of that, it's just minor stuff like Kyle Kuzma's questionable. Landry Shamet, Lou Dort. Nothing too impactful. A lot of the big news that we were waiting on, like with Jalen Brunson, like he's out. We got that news. I feel like there was something else that we were waiting on. Lauri Markkanen was out yesterday. He's out again. We already got that. I think that's just about it, though. So we pretty much should be all set for injury news, at least meaningful news. Maybe something pops up. We'll keep an eye on it. I do want to keep an eye on this Pistons starting lineup because they've got some guys coming back from injury tonight. I'll be interested to see if Jalen Duren's back in the starting lineup, if Tobias Harris is back in the starting lineup, or if they bring those guys off the bench coming back from injury. I don't think they will, but we'll keep an eye on that because there definitely could be some value taking some unders there if those guys are not starting. But they probably they should start. So yeah, man. If you guys have questions for tonight, throw those in chat. We'll start answering them. We do have a Steph Curry's points prop, so I do want to try and build out a slip. I haven't used this discount, so I do want to try and build out a slip with this discount. And for those of you that maybe haven't used this yet, we'll give out a couple plays that we can pair with that. Yeah, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Matthew, Just Drew, Eli, what's up, fellas? Eli asked, do you like Shea 30 ball if close he should play around the fourth quarter? Normally he hits when he plays in the fourth. I mean, I would say that's probably true. The matchup is definitely not great against Houston. His line, I think his line was 30.5 last night, 29.5. Like, I think that's an accurate line for SGA. I'm sure in this matchup he's probably had some success. He's probably also had some bad games as well. Let's see. Let's take a look. I know these teams played earlier this season, and I think the game went to like double overtime. It's like he had 35 against the Rockets earlier this season. The game did go to double overtime. Look, he's had some 22-point games, 29, but then he's had like a lot of 30, 31s, 32s. I don't have much of a take on that one. I'd probably lean the over. Let's take a look at maybe the sportsbook market, see which way they're leaning there. SGA points props are always like, it's such a close call. Like you said, Eli, when he plays in the fourth quarter, you typically feel good about him going over 29.5 points. This game should be competitive. Right now, DraftKings has him slightly juiced towards the over on 29.5 points. I'd lean the over if I had to pick a side there, but that's not a play that I'm super, super confident in. I will say, like, in terms of matchup, this is probably one of the worst matchups for SGA going up against Amin Thompson, a really, really good defender. How you doing? No, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good. Curry cooking the Knicks tonight. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully he gets 22 points at least. I know the taco that Prizepicks gave out on Tuesday with Steph Curry did not go well. But in the end, I mean, this is still a good bet. Even if Curry goes under again, you're still getting, a 6-point discount off of what his original line is. His original line's at 27.5. I'm assuming. Where's it at? Let's see. Yeah, 27.5. I mean, you're getting a 6-point discount. Like, it's still a good play. It could miss. He could go under again. But in the end, it's a good take. it's a good bet to take. But yeah, that was definitely disappointing. Steph had, 7 points Tuesday when they made him a taco. Hopefully tonight things are different. I think the matchup for Steph is pretty decent. I do worry about maybe a little bit of blowout risk just because the Knicks are on a back-to-back. They don't have Jalen Brunson. But like if the Warriors blow them out, it's probably because Steph is having a good game, you know? And there's a good chance he could go over 22 or 21.5 points even in a blowout. Somebody said Curry's banned. I'll be honest, man. Word of advice, I think, you know, banning players is like the stupidest thing you can do. You should never not take a prop when it's a good value just because of, you know, what's happened in the past. Like, every day is a new day. You know, Steph Curry could have went under his points prop last time he was a discount. That doesn't mean he's going to go under again, you know? Matchups are different. Scenarios are different. Like, every day is a different day. So I know a lot of people, like a lot of newer sports bettors, they love to say, oh, you know, I'm never taking this guy again. This guy's banned, yada, yada, yada. I think that's like the stupidest thing you can do. I'm sure there's plenty of players that I've bet on that have let me down, but that doesn't mean, you know, I'm not going to take a prop on them if I see value in that prop. Just some word of advice. Somebody said bald Monk Wemby. I saw Wemby did get a haircut. That's kind of interesting. He's going bald now. We'll see if that affects his play any. Prizepicks, they did something with his profile picture. They made him bald or whatever. Look, I will say that Wemby's minutes are coming up. Like, he's been playing slightly more minutes every game. Tonight, I would assume he plays like probably 28 to 30 minutes. His lines are still kind of set, you know. The lines on Wemby are not set like he's playing full minutes, which right now he's not playing full minutes quite yet. But each game, it does feel like his minutes are slowly coming up. Going up against Giannis, I'm sure this is a spot Wemby probably looks forward to. I think if I had to take a prop on Wemby, I would probably look at like maybe his over on points or maybe PRA. Fantasy is always a good bet because, you know, he can get a lot of steals and blocks. But it's a 12-point difference between his fantasy and his PRA. When it's a difference that big, typically I would side with PRA for Wemby. But yeah, we'll see if Wemby getting a haircut makes him play better. Need Turner at 14.5 for $300. Thank you. Okay, well, let's hope Miles Turner goes over that PRA 14.5. We got some good value on that one for sure because his line right now is 16.5. It's always going to be valuable to watch the YouTube videos when I post them. I know I post them really late at night. People probably can't watch that late, but typically we get good value on the YouTube plays. So yeah, hopefully Turner goes over 14.5. I feel good about it. He was out with an illness, but he only missed one game, so he should be playing full minutes, should be back in the starting lineup. I know the matchup against Wemby probably looks tough, but 14.5, like, that was just a super low line on Turner, even factoring in matchup and everything. Somebody said Bam points at 15.5. Bam's been so tough to, like, predict. He's just been one of the most, like, inconsistent players. He's been playing terribly lately, and then last game against Phoenix, he finally played well. He was making a ton of shots late in that game, because I was watching that game. I think in the fourth quarter, he made, like, five shots or 6 shots in a row. Matchup against Boston, typically, like, this is not a spot I like to attack, but this is a player that, you know, typically we see Bam's points prop be like 17.5, 18.5. His lines have been so low lately, you know, because he's been just playing so poorly. Maybe he keeps playing well. I would lean the over on that if I had to pick a side there on Bam's points. It's probably another play, though. I would take a look at maybe the sportsbook market, see what way they're leaning. Anytime Bam is at 15.5 points, like, that just feels like it just feels like a good bet, but Bam has struggled lately. He's on DraftKings, he's even money at 15.5 points. I would still lean the over there if I had to pick a side on that play at least. Kalkbrenner at 10.5 PRA. I kind of like that one, honestly. if you can get that. Is that on, I don't know, that's not on Prizepicks, but maybe it's somewhere else. His PR line is at 11.5 on Prizepicks. So they've been starting Diabate at center lately. They might go back to Kalkbrenner tonight, or maybe at some point they go back to Kalkbrenner as the starter. We don't know. But even coming off the bench the last few games, like he still played pretty decent minutes. Last game he only played 13 minutes, but the game before that he played 23. Typically, I would expect him and Diabate to split the center minutes. And whoever starts, you kind of give that player the upper hand. Maybe Diabate's back in, or maybe Kalkbrenner's back in the starting lineup tonight. I don't know. But I don't hate that play. 10.5 PRA if you can get that, and it's not like super juiced. It's not available on Prizepicks right now, but if you can get that somewhere else, I don't mind that. What's up, Noah? How do you feel about LeBron points tonight at 23.5? Let's take a look at that one. I know LeBron's been going over his points a lot lately. Yeah, he's gone over in 4 of his last 5. That's a tough one. I mean, matchup against Charlotte, I would say is probably pretty good. Like, Charlotte defensively, they're not a great defensive team. If you look at like LeBron's games historically without Austin Reeves, he's been pretty good. Obviously, all these games have been without Austin Reeves. If I had to pick a side on that prop, Aceway, I would lean on the over there. Charlotte's been playing better as a team, so maybe they keep this game competitive. I mean, the spread's only 3.5. And like in close games, you're going to get, 34, 35 minutes from LeBron, and this projects to be a close game. I mean, LeBron's been playing well, no doubt. I would lean on the over there. I wonder what the market has him. They have him slightly juiced. It's close to even money, but slightly juiced on the over. 23.5 points. But yeah, like if you look at what he's done without Reeves, like I want to say he's gone over 23.5 points in a large majority of games without Reeves this year. Love your content, by the way, bro. Hey, Just Drew, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. You like anything from Jazz and Mavs tonight? We can take a look at that game. There's a lot of injuries in that game. So Dallas is on a back-to-back. Cooper Flagg's doubtful, so he's not expected to play. Daniel Gafford's questionable, but he got injured last night, couldn't return to the game, so he probably is out. Obviously, Anthony Davis is out. Who else am I missing? There's probably somebody else out. The line, if you look at the Mavs props, I think I have typed Mavericks. If you look at where the Mavs lines are priced at, like so Dwight Powell, if they're lining Dwight Powell, so they must be assuming that Gafford's going to be out. I will say if Gafford plays, Dwight Powell under fantasy actually looks pretty good. If Brandon Williams is starting, I kind of like him over fantasy. He's a really good per minute producer. It's a great matchup. I don't know if they're going to start him or if they're going to start Ryan Nembhard. They've been starting Jaden Hardy lately. I'm assuming Jaden Hardy will stay in the starting lineup. Like these lines it's tough because it's such a good spot against Utah, but like the lines are really inflated. Like Najee Marshall, I mean, we don't ever see Najee Marshall with lines this high. But he's going to have a big role because, I mean, they just, without Flag, without AD, they really need offense from somebody. Same with PJ Washington, like his lines are super inflated. He might not even play. He's questionable. I would say it's tough because, like, I don't want to take an under on Dwight Powell and then Gafford get ruled out. But if Gafford plays, I do like Dwight Powell under. If Brandon Williams is starting, I like his over fantasy if he's starting. Honestly, Jaden Hardy at 24 fantasy kind of looks solid. He's another guy that, like, historically has been a pretty good producer when he gets minutes. And they're so thin right now, he should play pretty good minutes here. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that Mavericks starting lineup because I think there could be some value to snipe depending on who is starting. PJ's lines are like, I don't know. It's a back-to-back. PJ's coming back from injury. He definitely is the guy that you expect to soak up a lot of the usage. Like, if I had to make a bet who leads the team in shot attempts, it would probably be PJ Washington. It's like 17.5 points. I don't hate that. How many minutes did he play last night? This is all assuming he plays. I mean, he might not even play because he's questionable. But he played 31 minutes last night in his first game back from injury. So that's a good sign. Like that, he wasn't on some sort of strict minutes limit. Like, this is a game that I think could be really high scoring because you just have two bad defenses going up against each other. But then you also have, like, two teams that are trotting out a bunch of players who don't, project to be high-caliber NBA players. Like, when you take Cooper Flagg off, when you take Anthony Davis off, like, this offense gets a lot worse. But that's going to be an interesting game. I don't think right now I don't have any plays I love in that game. I know on the Jazz side, we took an over on Yusuf Nurkic in the Patreon. We took his over fantasy. That line's bumped up a good amount. I think it bumped up like 4 points. We took him at 35.5. Nurkic rested yesterday. He didn't play, so he should play tonight. I love the matchup against either Gafford or Powell or whoever they trot out there. But, like, his lines have come up so much, I don't want to really recommend a Nurkic over. But I did take Nurkic over 35.5 fantasy. If you want to take 39.5, I guess you could. But obviously the value's not as good there. So, yeah, that's probably it for that game. I would say I'll be definitely keeping an eye on the Mavericks starting lineup because I think you could get some good value to snipe if you're quick enough, depending on who is starting. Because they have lines set, like, they have lines on a bunch of guys that may or may not start. Nimhard, Brandon Williams. Somebody said Nurkic over everything. I mean, Nurkic has been balling, no doubt. He's been balling. He's always been like a really good producer. Like when Nurkic is on the floor, he's going to put up stats. He's going to score. He's going to get rebounds. He'll get assists. And he's been playing good minutes with the Jazz this year. It's a great matchup too. I get why you like the Nurkic overs. His lines have really come up, though. I want to say his lines were a lot lower earlier today, but obviously Lauri Markkanen getting ruled out had an impact there. What's good, Noah? Let's get this money. Let's get it, man. Let's get it, man. I can only bet $5 with any taco or Thunderbolt. It's like that for a lot of players, or a lot of people, sadly. Prizepicks has, cut the limit on discounts. Which, it is what it is. I mean, I would say Prizepicks used to only give discounts like once a week for Taco Tuesday. Now they're giving them a lot more often. Obviously, when you're giving out more discounts, you can't allow people to play as much money. Like, I would say typically Prizepicks loses money the day they give discounts, but when the discounts lose, they're making money. Lately, at least Tuesday, I want to say a lot of the discounts lost. We'll see about this Steph discount tonight. But I am going to give out at least like one or two plays that we can pair with this discount. I've already got a couple that I've been looking at that I'm liking. Who do you like in the Suns-Pistons game? So I did take a prop in that game earlier today on Patreon. I took Tobias Harris over 18.5 fantasy. Again, like his line bumped up a ton. But the reason I took that, for one, that was just a super low line on Tobias Harris. For two, I know Harris is coming back from injury, but the line was set as if he was going to play like 22 minutes, which I'd be surprised if he plays that few minutes. I think he plays like 26, 27 minutes. And if you give me 25, 26, 27 minutes from Tobias Harris, I mean, 18.5 fantasy, like he goes over that line a large majority of the time playing that many minutes. Honestly, at 22 fantasy, like I still think it's okay. I don't love it as much, but I did take that play on Patreon today. The rest of the lines, like a lot of the other lines on the Suns guys without Devin Booker, those look pretty accurate to me. I will say I think Colin Gillespie is the guy that could really benefit without Booker. They could run a lot of the offense through Colin Gillespie. I think his PRA was at 19.5 earlier, and then Booker got ruled out, and it bumped up 5 points. At 24.5, like that feels like a pretty accurate line, but I think he's the guy that definitely could take on a really big role here. I want to see has Booker missed any games this year? Let's see. I think he has, and I want to say that Gillespie was really good in those games. So it looks like Booker has missed 3 games this year. One of them was a huge blowout. Let's see what happened here. Gillespie played 26 minutes. I mean, he was bad, but like the entire team was bad in that game. It was a blowout. This game against Minnesota, they won. Brooks played 31 minutes, 18, 2, and 2. Gillespie, 33 minutes, 19, 6, and 4. It's a pretty good game from Gillespie in the one game, in that game at least, without Booker. What about this game against the Rockets? Brooks was solid, 23, 4, and 4. Royce was terrible. Mark Williams was terrible. Grayson was terrible. Gillespie, 13, 2, and 3. Not as good. But I mean, 2 of the 3 games that the Suns have played without Devin Booker this year have been blowouts. The one game that was competitive, Gillespie had 30 PRA in 33 minutes. Took 15 shots. I mean, you see where a lot of the shot attempts are going. Booker or Dylan Brooks 20, Grayson 16, Gillespie 15. Obviously, Royce doesn't really shoot a lot. 6 shot attempts. Mark Williams, all his shot attempts are coming from, his teammates setting him up, alley-oops, putbacks. And then the bench guys, I mean, not much came from the bench. Like, if the Suns keep this game competitive, which it's like a 7 or 8 point spread, so it's kind of an if. But if the Suns keep the game competitive, a lot of the offense is going to run through Brooks, Grayson, and Gillespie. And I think Gillespie the guy I like the most. I don't hate his over 24.5 PRA, if you want to look at that one. Or even like maybe points and assists. What's that at? 20.5? Let's see. Do we think he can get 4 rebounds? He's favored to get 4 rebounds. So yeah, maybe PRA probably be the best one there. I don't hate that play. If you're looking for a prop in the Suns game, that's probably my favorite, I think. Without Devin Booker. Gillespie's the guy I think benefits a lot. Let's give out, I do want to give out one play that I like with this Steph discount, and then maybe we'll get some news or something and I can throw another play in there. But one play that I'm looking at that I was liking is this one. Josh Hart, more than 33.5 fantasy. And I want to give a quick breakdown on this one for those that care. So, obviously, Jalen Brunson's out tonight. You can look at what Josh Hart's done this year without Jalen Brunson. He's been really good. It's a 3-game sample. Brunson's been out 3 games, but in 34 minutes, he had a triple-double, 40.2 fantasy points, 12, 11, and 10. Same matchup against Miami 3 days later, 36.5 fantasy points, 34 minutes, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists. And then against Minnesota, 42 fantasy points in 42 minutes. I'm not expecting 42 minutes, but 12, 15, and 8. You can see, like, Josh Hart's been the guy that's really taken on, like, the big ball handling role. And I'm interested at where his assist line's set at. I'm assuming it's probably at, like, 5.5, 6.5. It's 4.5 Goblin. He's the guy that, can do a lot of the facilitating. Obviously, he rebounds really well. He just does everything, so he's always a good bet for fantasy. Like, to get fantasy points, because he, even if he has an off night scoring, he can still get 12 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, or something like that. He's a guy that can get steals and blocks. He typically doesn't have a bunch of turnovers either. Like, he's not much of a turnover guy. You look at his last few games, he did have a 4 turnover game, but I mean, 0, 6, and then 1. He had a 4 turnover game, but then 2. His turnovers at 2.5 is a demon, so, he's not favored to go over that. But the only thing I worry about here is, can the Knicks keep this game competitive? It is a back-to-back. They're without Jalen Brunson. But if the game's competitive, we know Josh Hart's going to play a lot. He's always been a player that's played a lot of minutes when he's been healthy. Last night, he played 32 minutes. The night before that, 31. Since he's come back from injury, he's played 31 minutes and 32 minutes. Tonight, he probably plays 32 to 34 minutes. He typically averages over a fantasy point per minute without Jalen Brunson. He's been really good without Brunson this year, as you can see. So I do like this play on Josh Hart, more than 33.5 fantasy. And I was going to try and find one more play, because I usually like to do a 3-pick. I was going to try and find one more play. I want to see, we should be getting starting lineups for this game, Suns and Pistons. So maybe, when starting lineups come out for that game, we might can snipe something. But those two teams, they're probably going to start who we think they're going to start, but we'll keep an eye on that one. But right now, I do like this Josh Hart play that we can pair with the Curry discount. And then maybe we'll find something else. I've been looking through the fantasy board. A lot of the fantasy lines have bumped a ton since earlier today. This Jazz Mavericks game, I keep coming back to this one. I think there could be some value in this game. Like, Jaden Hardy at 24 fantasy looks kind of low if he's starting. I know he's been starting lately and hasn't really been doing much, but when you take Cooper Flag out, like that, the offense is completely different without Cooper Flag. It's a great matchup too. Like if you look at, let's see. So like last night, Hardy shot 3 for 11 and 1 for 6 from 3. And then the game before that, or no, he played 28 minutes last night, shot 3 for 11, 1 for 6 from 3. And then he did play December 23rd, he played good minutes against Denver, shot 5 for 9, 0 for 3 from 3. I want to say when you look at games, like let's see if he played any games last year with meaningful minutes. So like these were games last season where Hardy played at least 25 minutes. 32.6, 31.5, 31, 29, 26.3, 25.6 fantasy score. And let's see who played in these games. Najee Marshall, Daniel Gafford, Max Christie, Dante Exum, damn, and Brandon Williams, Spencer Dinwiddie, but like obviously no AD, no Kyrie. Clay was out. PJ Washington was out. So definitely, I would like to see PJ Washington out. Let's take a look at this game. Clay, Najee, PJ, Dinwiddie, Gafford. So this game, no Kyrie, no AD. Obviously, those are the big ones. See, things are different this season because they have like 3 point guards. They have Nembhard. They have Brandon Williams. They have Hardy. But Hardy can play he can play shooting guard. He can play as a 2. But he's a player that like when he gets minutes, typically he'll produce. Like he'll shoot the ball. I mean, you can look at these games. 17, 14, 19, 13, 18, 18 shot attempts. Like he's not afraid to shoot. I kind of like some Hardy props here. I just don't know which one I like the most. I mean, 21, I think I'd rather take fantasy over PRA. PRA's at 21.5. Fantasy's at 24. Has he started? Let's see. I think Hardy has started the last 3 games. At least 2 of the 3. He started the last 2 games. He only played 22 minutes against Brooklyn, but then he did get 28 minutes against Denver. I kind of like this Hardy Fantasy 24. If he plays 28 to 30 minutes, I feel pretty good about him going over this fantasy line. And you would think on a back-to-back against a shit team, like you might as well play some of these younger guys like Hardy. Like there's a chance that PJ Washington doesn't play on a back-to-back. There's a chance Gafford doesn't play on a back-to-back. I think I'm going to roll with this. I think this will be our stream slip for today. I was trying to find a third play, and I think the Hardy one I do like. Look, I know you look at the game log and you see a bunch of red, so you're probably not going to feel good about this, but for one, Hardy wasn't starting any of these games. He did start the last 2 games and still went under, but also Cooper Flag played in those games. PJ Washington played in one of those games. He might not play tonight. Daniel Gafford played in 2 of those games. He might not play tonight. So it's definitely a different scenario today. And the matchup against Utah is like literally the best matchup you can get. So let's roll with this. This will be our stream slip for today. Taking the Curry discount, pairing it with Josh Hart over 33.5 fantasy, and Jaden Hardy over 24 fantasy. Hopefully Hardy starts again. I mean, he started the last 2 games, so I don't see why they would do anything different here, especially missing a couple players. But yeah, feel free to tell that if you want to, guys. While I was talking, we did get the Suns starting lineup, and it's what we expected. Gillespie, Allen, Brooks, O'Neal, and Mark Williams. Waiting on the Pistons starting lineup, though. Definitely want to keep an eye on that one. It should be Cade, Duncan, Asar, Tobias, and Duren. But again, like, Duren's coming back from injury, Tobias is coming back from injury. They might bring them off the bench. I doubt it, but they might. So we'll keep an eye on that. And we should get that lineup in, like, any minute now. What do you think, Kuminga is going or Ja? I really don't know. Kuminga's definitely needed to get traded. Like, he's too good of a player to not be playing, I think. Like, he needs to go somewhere else. He needs, like, a fresh start. Ja, supposedly, I saw Ja was going to Miami. I don't know if that's going to happen, though. I feel like Kuminga, I would like to see the Lakers get Kuminga. I feel like he'd be a really good bench piece. I wonder like how much teams are going to have to give up to get Kuminga. We'll see, I guess. What do you think about KD, 24.5 points? It's not a good matchup for KD if you care about that. KD's been playing incredibly well as of late, though. His line is lower tonight because of the matchup against OKC. OKC just has so many good defenders. They have guys that, you know, KD's a tough one-on-one player to guard, but like OKC has guys with length that can give him trouble. J-Dub, Caruso, Lou Dort if he plays. I feel like 24.5's like, I think I would lean the over on that. I know last time they played, I think KD was solid. The game went to double overtime, but let's see. These teams played at the beginning of the season. KD had 23 points in 47 minutes. So he actually did kind of, you know, at least scoring per minute. He wasn't great against OKC earlier this year, but that was also the first game of the season, so you know, take it with a grain of salt. Let's see where the sportsbooks odds have his points prop at. DraftKings actually has him slightly juiced towards the under, so that doesn't make me feel good. I mean, I don't know. I'd still lean the over there, but I don't have much of a take on that one. I feel like 24.5, given the matchup, is probably an accurate line for KD. Najee Marshall's the only one of them, or Najee Marshall the only one on the Mavs to take. There could be some value on some other guys for sure. It's always hard for the books to price players who don't really play a lot. So like you can find value on guys like Jaden Hardy and Brandon Williams. I wouldn't say only Najee Marshall is the player he's probably the player you can trust if you want to put that into terms. Like of all the Mavericks players, he's the guy you would expect to play the most minutes. But you can still find production from some of these other guys. And also Najee's lines are like super, super high, like super inflated. Whereas like Hardy, his lines are not as inflated. And this is a player that like he's been able to produce when he's got an opportunity. Again, he's one of those guys that like he's not afraid to shoot. Like he's not going to just stand in the corner. Like he's going to shoot the ball when he's out there. Okay, Pistons will start Cunningham, Robinson, Thompson, Harris, and Duren. So as expected. So there we go. I was curious if they would do something different, but they're not. I love your content, man. You've been getting me paid the whole month of December and January. Hey, I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm glad you enjoy the content. Glad you enjoy the content for sure. Appreciate you tuning into the streams as well. Ball Knower said, what's up, Noah? What's up, Ball Knower? What's up, man? What do you think about Duncan Robinson's 6 points? That's probably like a goblin line, I'd assume. I mean, for one, if you're looking at this right here, just know that a lot of these games were without Tobias Harris, without Cade Cunningham, without Jalen Duren. All those guys are back tonight. I'm sure, like, if you play this Duncan Goblin, like, the price you're going to get is, like, really bad. Like, if you just pair this with a random prop, it pays out 2x. I mean, if you want to play that, you can. I feel like a lot of times the Demons and the Goblins on Prizepicks are not worth it. Like, the value, they're just not good values. You could play the same props elsewhere and get a way better payout. I typically stay away from the Demons and the Goblins personally. Somebody said Earl's on a 10-game contract for the Dallas. I did see that. They did sign Jeremiah Robinson-Earl. So that makes me assume somebody's out, whether it's Gafford or Washington or both of them. If they're both out, that's even better, at least for the Hardy prop we have. But yeah, them signing JRE probably means somebody's going to sit. One of the questionable guys. Luke Cornett over 5.5 rebounds. You know, Cornett, he's not starting anymore. He's coming off the bench. That hasn't impacted his rebounding numbers lately because he still had 8 rebounds against OKC. The Minnesota game, I think he came off the bench. He still had 12 rebounds. He's always been a good rebounder per minute. I'm assuming his minutes will start to slowly tick down as Wemby starts to play more. Last game, let's see. Last game, Cornett got 20 minutes. The game before that, 23. I don't think they're really playing him and Wemby together at all. So, like, if Wemby plays 28 minutes, that probably means Cornett's getting 20 at the max. You know, I doubt they're going to play together. You know, if Cornett's coming off the bench and if he's, you know, not playing minutes alongside Giannis, like, his rebounding potential should be solid in this spot. That's another one of those, like, I just feel like, you know, if you're taking a Goblin line or something there, it's just not worth it in my opinion. But if that's a play you like, you know, feel free. Is Julian Champagnie starting PRA at 21.5? He has been starting lately. I will say he was on a stretch where he was like crushing every single night. I think he kind of regressed last game. I think I said this in my last stream. Like, Julian Champagnie, he is not a player that you typically expect to average, you know, 26 PRA per game. He's typically a guy that he's in like the high teens, low 20s. This right here against OKC, that's more Julian Champagnie. This stuff right here, that feels like more of a fluke, especially with the team healthy, with Wemby healthy now, with Fox healthy, with Castle healthy. Like, Julian Champagnie's not a guy that, you know, is going to be out there taking up a bunch of shots. Like, he kind of just stands in the corner. He'll grab rebounds, but I'm not a big fan of taking overs on Champagnie. And he could go out there and play well again, but I feel like his lines are just a little bit inflated given the type of player that he is. Should we make a 6-man with it or just 1 pick with the Steph discount? That's up to you, honestly. That's up to you. I usually like to do like a 3-pick because typically on Prizepicks, those are really good values. You have 3-pick powers, paying out 6x. But you could do whatever you want, man. It's up to you. Jazz or Mavs? If you're asking who wins the game, I would say the Mavs. I'd say the Mavs. Is Wemby still on a minutes restriction? He is. He's limited to like 28 to 30 minutes. It's not like a super strict limit, but you're not going to get 35 minutes from Wemby right now. Like, he's not going to play that. He'll probably play 28 to 30. That's kind of where they've been keeping him at. You still like Miles Turner, 14.5 Goblin? I mean, if you didn't get it when it was a regular line, I don't think I'd be playing it as a Goblin. Yeah, I don't think I'd be playing it as a Goblin. Again, just because, like, the value's not as good. I mean, you're going to be getting a lesser payout than what you should get. If anything, I would maybe take, like, his points prop. That was at 9.5 last night. It only bumped up a point. Like, if you wanted to tail the Miles Turner prop, I think I'd take his points before I took that PRA Goblin. If he hits his PRA Goblin, he's probably going to hit points too. I mean, 3 of his last 4, he's gone over that PRA. He's also gone over points in those games too. He's at 32.15 on underdog. You talking about Josh Hart? Yeah, I mean, that's even better. If you can get him at 32.15 on underdog, that's even better. I think his line should be like 35.5 with Brunson out. So 33.5, that looks good to me on Prizepicks. You like Luka points today? At 33.5, I feel like that's, again, like kind of an accurate line. I feel like Luka's had this stretch where like he'll go under, then over, then on. It's like been a trend. Like, let me look at his game log. Like he had 34, 36, then 30, then 38, then 24, then 42, then 27. I mean, if the trend continues, this will be a game he goes over. I will say the matchup's definitely good against Charlotte. Obviously, without Austin Reeves, like the offense just runs through Luka and LeBron. I'd lean the over on that play if I had to take it, if I had to pick a side. But that's one of those props I don't see a ton of value in it, so it's not one that I would personally be taking. Okay, Cooper Flag is officially out for Dallas. We didn't get anything else, though. At least not at the moment. I was hoping we would get some news on Washington and Gafford. But we don't have that at the moment. Maybe we'll get that soon, though. How you feel about Wemby fantasy at 48.5? Honestly, I think if I was going to take a Wemby over, I'd probably take like his PRA. His fantasy and his PRA, it's 12-point difference. Unless this is a game where he gets like a ton of steals and blocks, PRA is probably going to be a better bet. He's gone over PRA twice, whereas fantasy's only gone over once for what it's worth. They did just bump his points from 22.5 to 23.5. But like, he's favored for what? 3 steals and blocks? Yeah, he's favored for 3 steals and blocks. If he gets 3 steals and blocks, you're probably going to prefer PRA. If he gets like 5 steals and blocks, then that's when you'll want fantasy. But the odds have him for 3 stocks. So with 3 stocks, I think I'd lean PRA. If I had to pick a side there. Or pick a Wemby prop at least to take. I think his fantasy earlier today was like 45.5. So it's actually come up from what it was earlier in the day. Do you like J. Will PRA? You talking about J? So it's J. Will and J. Dub. J. Will is this one, Jalen Williams. His PRA, I mean, I'd have to look like what has he done, because I know he's playing more right now without Isaiah Hartenstein. Let's see. Okay, we did just get news on the Mavericks. Daniel Gafford is out. Max Christie, I think he was doubtful, so he's out. What about PJ Washington? Any word on PJ Washington yet? Still waiting for that. PJ Washington is also out. So, okay, Dallas is going to be pretty thin. I definitely like that Hardy play more now that PJ Washington's out. They're probably, they're going to pull all these props. But yeah, that Hardy play, I definitely like that. Now that PJ's out. I don't know what their starting lineup's going to be. I guess it'll be... Shit. Dwight Powell, he'll probably start for Gafford. Najee will start. I'm guessing Hardy will start. And then... maybe one of Brandon Williams or Nembhard starts. Probably Nembhard. But it could be Brandon Williams. And then I don't know who the 5th starter will be. They might go to Clay. They might start Caleb Martin. That'll be interesting. Because if they start Nembhard, Williams, Hardy, I mean that's 3 guards. They'll be starting 3 guards, a forward, and a center. So I doubt they do that. They're probably going to start like Caleb Martin, if I had to bet. I doubt there's any props up for Caleb Martin. No, I didn't think so. But yeah, somebody was asking, what were they asking about? Jalen Williams. Let me look at his. So this is what he's done without Isaiah Hartenstein this year. His minutes have been pretty solid. 21, 14, 22, 19, 24, 21, 14, 23. even the games he played 14 minutes, he still had 15 PRA and 11 PRA. This game he played 19 minutes, he had 10 PRA. I don't like the matchup at all against Houston, but Jalen Williams is one of these players that does a little bit of everything when he's on the floor. Like, you look at his game log: 11, 10, and 5, 9, 5, and 1, 2, 6, and 6, 5, 6, and 4. Like, he does everything. If you can get his PRA at like 9.5 and it's not super juiced, I think that's honestly not bad. He probably plays like 18 to 20 minutes if I had to guess. Typically, if he plays that many minutes, I'd bet on him getting 10 PRA. So I don't hate that play, whoever asked about that one. Give me your guarantees for NFL. I wish I had guarantees, man. Nothing's a guarantee. Nothing's a guarantee. I will say, for this week, the teams I like to win. The first game, I like the Bills. I like the Bills to beat the Broncos. I don't know if the 49ers will beat Seattle, but I think that game will be closer. I think the 49ers will cover. I think they'll cover. I think the game will be closer than people maybe think. And then the other games, Chicago, LA, I don't know about that one. I lean the Rams win that one, but I think that could be another close game. And then Patriots and who the Patriots play? Texans. Oh, I think the Patriots steamroll the Texans. I would take the Patriots to cover for sure. So that's my NFL plays for this weekend if you want to tail. I haven't put any money down for any of the NFL games, but now that sports betting is, or prediction markets are legal in my state, I have been dabbling, and I probably will be placing some bets. I think my favorite bet though is Patriots. I just don't think the Texans are that good. I think their defense is what's carrying them. Like, if I could do it, I would be taking alt lines, like alt spreads. I'd be taking the Patriots to win by like 14. Like, I'm not a believer in the Texans at all. Their defense is great, no doubt. And, I know the saying is defense wins championships. But I'm not a believer. I'm not a believer. OG says you don't know ball. You don't know ball, Noah. Hey, I could be wrong. But that's one thing about me. I don't care. I'll tell my takes. So when the Patriots come Monday, we'll do a stream Monday. When the Patriots win by 14, just know I told you so. Yeah, Patriots at least cover the spread. They at least cover the spread. And they might win by more. Amin Thompson's line is low. How do you feel? His line's low just because of the matchup, really. I will say, we got great value on Amin Thompson's fantasy. We took his over fantasy at 34.5. That line went up 5 points. I don't think I would take it, at 39.5. But what we do know is that Amin's going to play a ton of minutes here because he's going to be the guy that has to guard SGA. Obviously, there's foul trouble risk there, but like if you told me Amin Thompson played 40 minutes tonight, I would not be surprised at all. It's not a good matchup, but he's going to play a ton if he stays out of foul trouble. Best pair for Curry Taco? If it's still available, they probably pulled it. Honestly, I think Jaden Hardy props, I kind of like with PJ Washington out. You could look at his PRA or his points prop. His PRA actually went down a point. That's really weird. I would think it would go up with Washington out. Okay, they locked his points prop. This is probably my favorite play, though, to pair with the Curry Taco. If you didn't get his fantasy was at 24, but I think this is good, too. Or you could take his points. Either one is fine. I feel like he probably gets 5 rebounds and assists. So, I would lean PRA there. Like last game, let's see. Last game he had 5 RA. The game before that he had 2. I would lean PRA. I mean, the Mavericks are just so short-handed tonight, and it's a great matchup. And I went on a spiel already about how Hardy's a player that can produce when he gets minutes. Okay, they just made his PRA a goblin. Hopefully you got that before they did that. Looks like his fantasy line is still not up yet. If they put him back up at 24 fantasy, that would be my favorite play, I think. I don't think they'll do that. They'll probably either bump it or they just won't put it back up at all. I'll take you on that alt line, however much you want to bet. I'll respectfully come apologize if they beat us by 14. If not, you owe me 5 people free VIP for a month. Hey, I'll do that. I'll give away, I don't know if I can do 5, but I'll give away a Patreon membership for sure. I'll give away 3 Patreon memberships if the Patriots don't cover the spread. Let's look at what the spread is right now. Just so you know, we're working with the same numbers. Let's see here. So right now I'm seeing 3s. There might be some 2.5s out there. Let's see what DraftKings has. DraftKings has them at 3. We'll just say Patriots -3. If the Patriots don't at least cover the spread. Now, if they push, I don't know, maybe we'll still give away like a membership or something. But if the Patriots don't cover -3, I will give away 3 Patreon memberships on Monday. You can hold me accountable. I won't forget either. Hopefully I won't forget. But you'll hold me accountable. Everyone that's in the stream right now that's watching, be sure to tune in Monday to see if the Patriots, or to potentially win a Patreon membership if the Patriots don't cover. But they're going to cover. They're going to cover. That's probably my favorite NFL bet this week. I think that's pretty much all the news we've got so far, or that we're still waiting on. Like most of the stuff that we're still waiting on, we're not going to get on this stream. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream here, guys. We were already, we've been live for about an hour. I appreciate everyone tuning in. We did give out a stream slip for today. Hopefully you all were able to get that in. I'll post that real quick just so anyone who didn't get it in could tell if they wanted to. One of the props we gave out did get removed. So you might have to find a pivot for that or just play something else. But this is our stream slip for today. We took the Steph discount, paired it with Josh Hart over 33.5 fantasy. I talked about why I like that play with Jalen Brunson out. And then Jaden Hardy over 24 fantasy. Especially now that PJ Washington's out, I do like that play a good amount. I don't know if that line is up yet on Prizepicks. Looks like it's not. I don't think they'll put that back up. If they do, it'll probably be bumped. Because it looks like they bumped up all of his lines like 1 point. But yeah, this is our stream slip for today. Let's hope we can go 3-0. We can make some money tonight. I'll see you guys in the next stream, which will probably be, I'll definitely have a stream Friday. So I will stream Friday. Probably no streams over the weekend, but I'll for sure be back Monday. And hold me accountable, guys. The Patriots, if they do not cover -3, I'll give away 3 Patreon memberships. If they push, if they win by 3, I'll give away like 1 membership or something. But I'll give away 3 if they don't cover. If they do cover, I ain't giving away shit. Peace out, everybody.